Hey everybody, it's Fi. We're checking out Untitled Adventure Demo. This is a game I've not played before. We're going to give it a playtest and see if we can give some useful feedback. Got the game page open here. This is a very short demo I made. It has nearly all functionality I planned, though there is very little content to actually play. Just uploaded here for the lulz. Don't expect much. So that's all that's written here, but we're going to give it a shot. Let's go ahead and jump into this. This is the first thing you see when you run the game. There is some audio here. So I'm not seeing anything past what we're looking at right now. It is a little bit on the loud side, actually quite a bit on the loud side, so you might want to take that into consideration. It's a very common problem I run into. So it looks to me like it's expecting gamepad, so I'm going to go ahead and plug in my Xbox controller. Whoop, sorry for that. I bumped the microphone cable. I think it caused some scratchiness in the recording there, but alright, I forgot to plug in the other end. Okay. Alright, here we go. Alright, we got gamepad. Alright, so first thing I notice, you're kind of slidey when you stop. Certainly looks a little janky. I don't know if this is going to affect how this game actually plays very much. We got the camera on the right stick. It feels intuitive. You will want to be careful about the... Oh, okay, a couple of things. First of all, the axes. Some people might want to invert them. I feel like the left and right might be backwards from what I expect, but I think the vertical is kind of what I expect. But you know, both of those axes. Different people have different preferences for that, what feels right and intuitive to them. So probably gonna want to have settings for that. I do also notice that if I play with the right stick a little bit, sometimes it'll keep rotating like this. That means that the dead zone hasn't been set properly for the stick, which I'm guessing is probably the same for the left one. Definitely feels like there's an extremely small dead zone in the left stick. So I'm not noticing, like, I'm not drifting around. But if I just barely touch it, I start walking. So basically, dead zones, you're going to want to be careful to set those. Apart from having these issues where the camera kind of moves on its own like this because of the errors in the stick, you also get less accurate input if you have the dead zone set too low, which can lead to all sorts of problems depending on what kind of game you're making. So good numbers, I recommend something like 0.4, 0.3 is usually like a lower limit if you have like a game that you want to have like really precise analog control with. Like if it takes like a lot of precision, you might want to go a little lower or something like that. But usually 0.4 is a good starting point for a lot of games, in my opinion. So you can go ahead and plug that in if you'd like. Looks like we can jump. The bottom right says defense attack. Is that the R and L, or is that the bumpers? So if I press L, it does this little animation. I don't know what that is. Right trigger doesn't do anything. The bumpers don't do anything at the moment. Top button, it says none. Left button is draw. So there's this. So maybe I can. Oh, okay. So if I hold the right bumper, it changes the text in the bottom right with what the different buttons are. And so that's kind of an interesting setup. Just a note for me personally, I prefer to use the triggers for more common actions than using the bumpers because of the way I hold the controller. I rest my index fingers on the triggers, so I have to kind of reach for the bumpers. Some people don't do that apparently, but I do, so just something to keep in mind, like for future reference or whatever. You know, you can have rebindable controls, it'll solve that or whatever, but a little bit of jankiness with getting stuck on the wall here if I jump into that. I noticed that if you have the weapon out, you can't jump, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so we have this control scheme where you have to hold like a button and then press another button to do attacks. So that's what we've got for attacks. It looks like we have a 100 on the bottom there, which I'm not sure what that is yet. I'm not sure. Kind of annoying how the camera keeps moving around on its own here. I'm not sure if I'm not sure how much I like the control scheme of having to hold a button and then press other buttons to attack, like having to use two buttons at all times to do any attacks. I feel like maybe there's better options than that. I don't want to like give you more options because there's just so many different ways to do that, but you know, there's other games you can look at. In any case, I don't know if I can jump up here. Yeah, it looks like I can jump up here if I want to. Is there another way up here maybe? No, I guess not. And there's something down there. A lot of downtime with some of these. So I'm noticing there's looks like a little key right here. It's probably pretty easy to miss that, but I just noticed that kicking around. Let me see. I think I sheath this and then maybe I can pick this up. All right, so it failed the first time, which is kind of janky, I guess. I don't think you want it to fail. I don't know if I can. All right, so I can just use this at any point in time. So it's not like it. I wouldn't call that a bug. I think it's just that the game is being too particular about standing in the right spot to pick the key up, which is something easy to fix. Like you don't really want to have that. It's like I'm standing on it, and why isn't it picking up? You know. Nevertheless, we got the key. But yeah, if that's something important, you might. Oh, there's no collision on the tree. If that's something important, you might want to like make it sparkle or something. So it's not easy to miss. Do I just walk into this? Looks like oh, use item is like on the left trigger, I guess. Kind of interesting. But I still have the key on me, so oh, all right. So the camera work is not really working well in this narrow cavern here. It looks like an enemy of some sort. So I'm not sure if the key is meant to be consumed or if you're meant to like keep using it, because there's not much point to carrying it around. I don't think. I think I can. I don't think I can throw it. It looks like I can drop it. All right, I think I did some kind of damage there. So yeah, it looks like it's a little awkward when you do the leap because you can kind of run into the enemy and kind of push them away if you don't get the right spacing. I think that hit him. No sounds, no audio feedback at the moment. Flurry leap spikes. So these all kind of feel like special attacks or something to me. It doesn't really feel like any of these are like a standard attack or something like that. Oh, okay, so yeah, I think I figured out what I was missing here. So it does show at the bottom right, if I don't hold the modifier, it actually has light and heavy, which I didn't notice what that was yet, and apparently that's like a light and heavy attack. So apparently that's what I was missing here. So we can get more attacks if we hold the modifier, and those are the special-ish attacks, I presume. So that makes sense. Just yeah, you know, obviously with a early game like this, you don't really have time to tutorialize everything, so it can be a little hard for someone like me who's like focusing on everything else to kind of internalize all this stuff all at once. And yeah, less than ideal way to learn how to play a game. But is there a wait? I can jump. Now what about defense? I have to draw the weapon and then defense. Okay, so there's other things here. Icicle, slide, sphere, and back. Oh, okay. So back, I thought it was like go back in the menu or something. So yeah, maybe the oh gosh, I'm kind of stuck in here. Maybe the naming convention is not entirely intuitive. Now I don't know if maybe that 100 is my health. I feel like I don't know if I'm avoiding all these attacks. Oh, I can't move now. I'm actually quite stuck here in this animation, so I don't see myself getting out of this, unfortunately. So I might have soft locked it, getting stuck here, unless I can. Nope, no button is helping. So all right, let's go ahead and just restart this. I'm gonna just hit Alt F4 and let's try to like actually play through a little bit more of this. All right, let's just make sure that's in the capture. Yep, let's go. All right. move a little faster here. We do have a bridge over here, which I don't feel confident I can get over that, but so we've got what, draw, and then heavy light, and then pick is still there. Sheath, defense, icicle, slide, and sphere is whatever that is. And then back. Yeah, so I mean, there's a bunch of different things you can do. I don't think that it's the most intuitive layout for the buttons. You know, it's kind of like, not only is there a lot of different things, but it's not immediately obvious like where all of them are, because you have to like hold different modifier buttons and such. It'd definitely be nicer if you have like a button for attack and like a button for defensive things, like whether it's a dodge or a shield or whatever you have. You can kind of do different things, you know, like press in different directions, and different contexts can modify those buttons. But if you have to like press one button and then another one, that definitely can make things a little bit more complicated for the human brain to work out on the fly here. So we pick this up. Use is right trigger, apparently. Go ahead and drop that key. Suppose that I will try to fight this guy. He's not doing much, so what can I do? So, okay, another thing that occurs to me, I mean, while you have this control scheme, it would make sense to me if you're going to have this backwards jump, might as well put that on like the bottom button, because it's kind of back towards the player, you know, it's just sort of an intuitive thing. For that matter, maybe put slide on the top, you know, that's an idea. Well, I don't think I can even take damage at the moment because I haven't noticed any evidence of that. Oh my gosh, I'm having trouble with the camera. Whoa, okay, well, that's the thing that happens. This feels kind of pathetic because the reach is so short. Alright, so we do like a 2-hit attack. And then can we like... So it looks like you can... Yeah, you can... Oh. Okay, so you can do this backwards dodge out of your animations, it looks like. So, I mean, there's like a little bit of wind-up time for the backwards dodge, so it's not that quick to come out. But you can still kind of cancel your animations with it, so that's kind of cool. But I did notice it seemed like... one time when I used it, I think I still had some like... Yeah, it's like you have some forward momentum from being in the middle of the attack, and then when you use this, it kind of adds the velocity between the two, so you get like a shorter backwards leap instead of it kind of canceling out your velocity before it does the backwards leap. Should probably be what you want, because that would be more consistent and less likely to cause frustration, I think. I've got this elevator shaft looking thing. Uh-oh, we got some dangerous terrain here again. I'm getting kind of stuck. Not sure if I can get out of this. All right, I seem to be okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, okay. It's hard to even see like the ground and the walls and everything are like the same color, so it's hard to make sense of like where I am and where the ground is and stuff. There's I didn't try picking up any of those mushrooms. For some reason I can't. Looks like there's... Oh, wait, what? Okay, it's getting really narrow. I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to go over here. Oh gosh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we've got... Oh, geez, the camera. Stop. All right, yeah, the camera is like struggling to catch up, so I can't really turn to even like look above me or anything at the moment. But yeah, so we're out of the game. Obviously, this is not what we want, where we want to be. Let's go ahead and Alt F4 again. All right, let's give it one more shot. right, we good? Yeah. So some minor things. Generally, you want action games to be nice and responsive. I mean, obviously, there's the whole Dark Souls thing that has affected everyone's perception of everything. You know, it's okay if you know what you're doing to have some of these attacks that have like these long wind-ups and cooldowns and stuff like that. But it's actually like a little animation when it walks in and out. Okay, so I'm noticing like when you jump and you land, you have this moment where you kind of stop and squat as you're landing, and you kind of don't have control for that brief moment, and that's one of those things that's sort of just kind of slowing the player down without offering anything in return. So I prefer just to not have that little wait time, as small as it may be. It's like something that can happen a lot. So there's a chest just hanging out in here. Is there? See, drop and then pick. It looks like, okay, it looks like I picked up the key and opened the chest simultaneously. So I guess I got this thing that's on my hip now, but I don't know what that is. Is there more stuff in here? I can't really tell because the pickup animation doesn't, it just kind of always happens when I press the button. It doesn't give me any indication if... Oh, I just walked up to this and this popped up. Okay. Found some kind of treasure. Seems to be some sort of rune, and it seems to be magical too. On my way back to the hut, a rock fell from the ceiling straight under my head, and it didn't hurt me in the slightest. Instead, the rune flashed brightly. I think it protected me from harm. Anyway, I locked it in our chest. You can sit there until Horus returns. I also locked the lower cave while I was at it. Next time, it's not going to be a single rock, but the whole cave coming down. For now, I will go back to see if I can find more treasure. I take key for the lower cave with me, just in case some monster make it necessary to take the lower path back to the hut. Okay. Alright, so this is giving me some indication of what I picked up is. However, this is like one of these things where it only works if somebody happened to like walk up to this and read it, because I very well could have just walked out of here without doing that. So something to keep in mind. I don't know how to use this or anything. It just said it was going to protect me. I'm assuming that this is meant to depict that the person got killed in this collapse, and I'm using the key now. Alright, press the right buttons. So yeah, it all feels really arbitrary in my opinion, like where all the buttons are. It doesn't have this feeling like it's laid out to be like intuitive or comfortable to use. It seems like you took all the things and just like found different buttons for them, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's doesn't feel like a very refined layout for the controls. So we're not gonna go sliding out that little hole. It's very strange to just put like a hole like that where it looks like somewhere you're supposed to go, but it's like the ceiling is too low for you to walk, and I don't know, maybe it's just some kind of unfinished idea there. Oh, we have a shield here. That's cool. Wait. Oh, so the left trigger picks that up, and then okay, it's the left trigger to equip the shield, and then the right trigger to hold the shield out. So yeah, it definitely feels very arbitrary in terms of the button layout, where it's just a bunch of kind of, I don't want to say random, but random-ish feeling locations for everything you want to do. That's a terrible way to say that, but maybe you understand. I don't know. So I don't know if there's anything to do besides try to fight this thing. I do notice I have to wait until my attack animation finishes before I can like lift the shield up. That might be something you might want to consider, like maybe just let the player do that a bit sooner, something like that. I didn't try this thing. Oh, well, you don't want to do that. Oh. Oh, this is going up. Well, I was already up here before. That's very slow. The dramatic end. Oh, I can see. I can't see where the ground is here, like what is walkable and what isn't. Gosh, yeah, it's very hard to use the camera when it's going the opposite way that you expect it to all the time. So yeah, that went up there. I'm not sure if looks like yeah, there's no dropping down here or anything. Oh. So I guess you can't do any of the defensive moves unless you have your sword out, which is quite strange because none of these moves have anything to do with your sword. And I can certainly imagine situations where you might not have your sword at the ready and still want a defensive option. So I'm not sure if there's anything else to do. It's looking like there isn't, unless there's a way to get across that broken bridge now, which... Oh gosh. Oh gosh, okay. So when when the camera goes all the way up, so it's like looking straight down at you, apart from the fact that it does this. Whoa, gosh. Apart from that, like the controls all spaz out because I guess the game doesn't know which way is forward and backward and everything when the camera hits that top point there. All right, let's just walk out of here. I think this is out. So yeah, we've got this bridge. Oh my gosh, that's not helpful. Okay, so... Alright, jumping towards the camera. Even just walking straight towards the camera is a bad time. The camera's not reacting in a good way there. But I'm not confident that I could jump over this, but I can try. There's a little island over there, it looks like. That's interesting. I'm gonna guess that's purely scenery at the moment. It's just barely peeking out of the fog. Interesting. So I kind of clipped through it, but clearly couldn't land on it. Judging by the way I clipped through it, it seemed like there might not even be any collision on that step anyways. So yeah, I think it didn't seem obviously like there was any other things to do here, so we might as well wrap it up. But yeah, in terms of feedback, I would say the thing that sticks out to me the most is just the actual layout for the controls. It would be a good place to focus for moving forward and improving what's here, because like you can do a lot of these cool things, but it's just kind of annoying if you have to go through all these different combinations of buttons to like just do one particular move or another. So you definitely simplify it and streamline it, and that would probably just be a lot more immediately gratifying for the player. And in my opinion, even if you, I'm not saying you have to, but even if you do end up having to kind of axe a couple of these things that you can do, like certain attacks or whatever, in order to fit it into like a more streamlined control scheme, in my opinion, it would be worthwhile. Like, you know, Zelda games, you don't have a lot of different attacks, but the combat can be pretty good. But there's also just a lot of different ways that you can do all these different moves and stuff, so you don't necessarily have to get rid of... Whoa. What happened there? Oh. Okay, yeah, so I just mashed the controller and got confused. So apparently I dropped the shield, which flew up towards the camera. And apparently if you press in the left thumbstick, it changes the music. So that's fun. But yeah, so interesting game. Hopefully you found the video useful, and I hope you keep working on it. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.